News source. This is Channel 8 News Midday.
Well, the U.S. is moving on in the World Cup. Got fans from all across the country reacting to the United States' first win in the knockout round in more than 2 decades. Thank you for joining us, everyone. I'm Andrew Ward. But now that the thrill of victory is kind of winding down a little bit, all talk is on this play here. That red card issued to one of the best players for Team USA, Florida Balogun. It happened in the second half, forcing the U.S. to play the final 30 minutes with only 10 players on the field. And Balogun will now be suspended for the next round due to FIFA rules. Balogun seen walking off the field with disappointment on his face. The Athletic is reporting that FIFA will not allow an appeal of the red card either. Team USA's coach saying he disagrees in this decision, saying there was no ill intent with the tackle by Balogun.
A normal action in football that happened because by accident, and it's never intentional. That is why for me it's never red card.
The U.S. is now set to take on Belgium in the next round of 16 on Monday without one of their best players. That match will be set in Seattle at 7 o'clock. We'll be following and letting you know how they plan to advance to the quarterfinals on air and our Now Local News app. Now we take a look at the potential for severe weather here rolling into the capital city this weekend. A few lightning strikes already spotted this morning over Van Dorn Street. In this video submitted to our Now Local News app, we could be seeing a lot more of this over the next few days. Here's a live look outside right now at our ALEC Communications care. Lots of cloud cover, warm and muggy out there as well. But how will this weather impact your 4th of July plans? Well, let's get to meteorologist Houston Hall with the timeline here for us. Good morning, Houston.
Good morning. Yes, 4th of July day on Saturday. It looks like some storm chances really south of I-80. And that's going to be due to the storm system on Friday, which will be moving those storms farther south for your July 4th. Right now, we just got a bunch of cloud cover in southeast Nebraska. And that's all due to like 3 boundaries in the area. We're in the upper 70s, lower 80s. You can see the cloud cover in southeast Nebraska, kind of just churning around. It's got a few sprinkles here and there. We might see an isolated shower thunderstorm here as we go into about the next hour or two, as we are starting to get some instability. Check that out. We got like a low pressure system and then 3 boundaries, and all that instability is starting to move on in. So give it about another hour. We should start to see a little bit of rumbles of thunder and some lightning strikes. 70s, 80s for the whole state, and we're looking at dew points a little drier out towards the west, very humid off towards the east, and winds pretty variable, about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Precipitation here in Lincoln, boom, you can see about 2, 3 p.m. They peak, and then by the evening they die down. We are still tracking that damaging wind threat as we take a look in the next few hours. There's our rain chance. And then as we go into this evening, boom, I'll break down this whole forecast and what to expect even tomorrow night in a few.
Very much, Houston. Now to a road closure wrapping up today. 48th Street from Normal Boulevard to South Street has been shut down for a water main installation since April. But according to LTU, that area should be opening up today. You're getting a look at it now. The rest of the project from South to Sumner Streets will remain closed through the end of August. Breaking overnight, strong explosions rocking Kyiv hours after President Zelensky warned of a massive Russian attack. Kyiv officials say Russia launching ballistic missiles and drones at Ukraine, which damaged and set fire to residential buildings, killing at least 20 people, dozens more injured following the attacks, according to Kyiv's mayor. Now, this footage next to me, you see rescuers rushing to the scene of a destroyed 9-story building where people were trapped inside. This attack coming after Ukraine struck a large oil facility in Russia. New details now. Governor Pillen making it official regarding medical marijuana, but some aren't happy.
We're just people trying to live our lives, do the best we can.
Yeah, with these new regulations being put into place, some Nebraskans say it's not enough. They say the new rules not only limit how much medical cannabis can be grown, but also how much can be purchased by people who really need it. Channel 8's Jake Holman explaining the reaction for us.
With a stroke of a pen, Nebraska Governor Jim Pillen signing the new bill into law that's changing the current landscape of medical marijuana. A set of regulations from the Nebraska Medical Cannabis Commission. Krista Eggers, the executive director of Nebraskans for Medical Marijuana, says these new regulations don't reflect what Nebraskan voters want.
The rules and regulations are completely against what the voters passed. We see a restriction of many types of forms
Some of the regulations include no more than 12 cannabis dispensaries statewide, prohibiting the sale of smoking or vaping products and edibles of any kind, no more than 5 ounces of medical cannabis in a 30-day period, and no more than 5 grams of THC for every 90 days. Egger says that will make a huge difference for patients in need.
That is going to leave many of the very sickest of patients. Dying cancer patients often need high doses, high levels of THC in their products. There'll be many patients that have 8 days of medicine, and then they will be without, until that 90 days starts again.
For 59-year-old Leah Post, she's been battling complex regional pain syndrome for 11 years and has been a legal user since last year. She says this changes everything.
You have no right to tell me, especially when you haven't walked in my shoes. I don't know. I mean, what do you do?
With her condition, Post deals with chronic pain, making it more difficult for her to move around and wear specific clothing. And now with less access to THC and cannabis, she says it's only going to get tougher from here.
We're just people trying to live our lives, do the best we can. And it just happens that a plant helps us.
The new rules also limits the number of licensed cultivators in the state to 4, and they can't grow more than 1,250 flowering plants at one time. Reporting in Lincoln, Jay Coleman, Channel 8 News.
New at midday, a new report released this morning showing the U.S. added far fewer jobs than expected in June. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, there was an additional 57,000 jobs. Now, that's just over half of what economists predicted. Meanwhile, in May, the U.S. economy added 129,000 jobs. The good news is the unemployment rate inched down to 4.2% last month. Experts say the Iran war, AI, and an aging demographic are challenging the labor market. Happening today, an announcement from Respect Nebraska voters. The group has been collecting signatures for a proposed constitutional amendment. The goal is to change the number of lawmakers required to overturn or change initiatives that voters have approved to 4/5 of the legislature, up from the current 2/3 required. Now, the amendments would also require the same 4/5 threshold to pass new laws that would impact the initiative and referendum process, as well as adding protections around Nebraskans' ability to create new initiatives. We'll let you know what information we learn about this announcement tonight at 5. Trending now, a love story in New York City. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's reported wedding celebrations could begin in just a few hours here at Madison Square Garden. Fans have been trying to get a glimpse of the deliveries made so far. ABC's Perry Russum breaks it down for us.
One of the most famous couples in the world appears to be having wedding celebrations at the most famous arena in the world. Taylor Swift and NFL star Travis Kelce kicking off festivities at Madison Square Garden in just hours.
It makes sense, but I just don't think it's typical of her, but I'm sure it'll be gorgeous and beautiful.
Deliveries have been made for days, some items covered in tarps. One box appears to be carrying trees and plants. Another reads garden party. Sources say the first event will be tonight at 6 p.m. 100 guests are expected. A second event is tomorrow, with a cocktail hour starting at 4 p.m. Around 1,000 guests are expected.
I definitely thought that you weren't going to hear about it until after it happened. It's weird that we kind of know that it's going to happen beforehand.
So this is the loading dock where we've seen supplies brought in all week. We know permits have been filed to shut down streets around MSG. This is for both cars and pedestrians. No cell phones will be allowed for guests, workers, and security. Tents and canopies will shield the celebrity couple and their guests as they arrive.
I would be remiss not to mention an event that we are tracking at Madison Square Garden on Friday night. The NYPD will, of course, have a detail in place, but I am not going to go into more specifics on that at this time.
Oh, and by the way, this is happening on one of the hottest days of the year in New York City. We are still waiting to see who got an invite to the wedding, but we know fans have seen some of Taylor's friends around the city. That includes Suki Waterhouse, Ed Sheeran, and Sabrina Carpenter. Perry Russum, ABC News, New York.
When we come back, Healthcare Ideal, the clinic in Lincoln getting back-to-back accolades, and now could be soon serving even more people in the community.
At Stanton, for a limited time, kids get a free eye exam.
Penguins need clear vision. Kids do too. Plus, glasses start at just $79. Made same day. Smart, simple. Stanton.
KLKN TV ABC 8 is looking to connect with organizations that regularly distribute job opportunity information or refer qualified job applicants. If your organization would like to receive notices about current openings at our station, please contact our business office by email at hr@klkntv.com or by phone at 402-436-2237. KLKN TV ABC 8 is an equal opportunity employer and a drug-free workplace.
When you fake like that, when you fake like that, head out of the...
Fourth of July savings are at the Home Depot. It's game time, so trim it like Trey, set it like Seth, and sear it like Selena. Make every gathering one worth cheering for, with low prices guaranteed at the Home Depot.
Celebrate America's 250th birthday with Supreme Spa and Pool. Save up to $8,300 on semi-in-ground pools or $9,700 on in-ground pools. Plus, get a free robotic cleaner.
Supreme Spa and Pool.
At Stanton, our progressive lenses are digital, customized for you. All distances, one lens. Get 2 progressives plus a free eye exam for just $175. Smart, simple, Stanton.
Right now, a local free clinic earning national recognition. Clinic with the Heart is located here in Lincoln and has earned a national Gold Star rating for the 5th year in a row. The recognition comes as the clinic expands into its new facility, allowing it to serve even more patients with high-quality, volunteer-driven care. This is Lincoln's only free medical facility and has been serving the community since 2003. Well, a study finds a social media diet hack may actually work, and the nutrition apps can encourage healthy habits but also have risks. Jane King explains in today's Wellness Report.
As nutrition apps proliferate, some researchers are raising alarms that the gamification features may do more harm than good for some people. Isabella Anderberg, a psychologist researching digital dieting behavior at Flinders University in Australia, said calorie tracking can reinforce behaviors associated with eating disorders. Many nutrition tracking apps are free but offer premium versions that users must pay for. Well, researchers in the UK and upstate New York shared findings this week that simply viewing food content online is enough to curb real-life cravings for some dieters. It's a process called cross-model satiation, wherein one model of stimulation overpowers another. In this case, the visual diminishes desire for the actual food. Now, for the experiment, the researchers played social media-linked videos for the participants featuring high and low-calorie chocolate desserts. The dieting cohort lingered on the high-calorie video for 30% longer than the non-dieting group. When they were later offered a bowl of real chocolates, the dieters notably ate less. And for the 2nd year in a row, cases of measles, known as the world's most infectious disease, will hit record highs, and 2026 is on track to be worse than last year. In a matter of weeks, we're likely to blow past last year's total, hitting the highest number of cases in 35 years. Measles spreads when an infected person breathes, coughs, or sneezes, and it could linger in the air even 2 hours after the person leaves. From the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Jane King. Here's your health.
Well, it's just cloudy out in eastern, southeastern Nebraska. Here in the next hour or two, we could see a few thunderstorms develop, but most likely not. Comes to tonight and then tomorrow night. Show you the forecast in 2.
Planning an event? La Paz Mexican in Lincoln has you covered. Our catering brings fresh, crowd-pleasing favorites right to you, and we handle the setup. Just give us a call or email today.
Wild Bird Habitat brings the joy of birding right to your backyard. With expert advice, a huge selection of bird feeders, birding supplies, plus premium-grade wild bird feeds, your feathered friends will flock to your yard. Visit Wild Bird Habitat today.
Get in the game with the Now Local News app. Scan the QR code on your screen to download the app and submit your best sports moments. Share the highlights from your favorite plays, top performances, and big wins. Your videos might even be featured on our newscasts. Earn points for each accepted submission and redeem them for Visa gift cards. Help us capture the excitement as it unfolds. Download the Now Local News app and start sharing today.
The holiday's biggest fireworks are at Ernie's in Ceresco's Fired Up 4th of July sale. Get explosive savings on all of your total home furnishing needs, including top made-in-America brands, Tempur-Pedic mattresses up to $500 off, and store-wide deals you won't want to miss. Plus, free driveway delivery and 5 years interest-free financing. Mark your calendar for Ernie's in Ceresco's Fired Up 4th of July sale. It's a banger of a sale at Ernie's in Ceresco and Ernie's Mattress First, Lincoln.
Stay cool this 4th of July with an 11% rebate at Menards. Make installation a breeze with a quick install ceiling fan. With over a dozen in-stock options, they're loaded with extra time-saving features. This Piper Glen large room fan is a value of $99.99 after rebate. Keep your family protected with Kidde home safety products. This Kidde smoke detector features over 25% faster smoke detection. Now a value of $24.99 after rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
Right now, today is expected to be the busiest day at airports around the country. People are getting ready to celebrate the 4th of July. ABC's Olivia Rubin has all the details on the travel crunch.
The holiday weekend is almost here, and AAA is expecting more than 72 million travelers, breaking records from previous years.
We're expecting it to be a really busy holiday weekend, with the 4th falling on a weekend. That always increases the numbers we're going to see.
And in the skies, today expected to be the busiest travel day of them all. TSA projecting to screen more than 3 million passengers, with more than 50,000 flights set to take off. Airlines also reporting high numbers. American Airlines saying it will serve 8.1 million customers over the July 4th period. That's 10% more than 2025. And United Airlines alone projecting 550,000 passengers every day.
We wanted to be home before the 4th of July to beat the rush and then be home over the 4th.
And millions hitting the road, too. More than 61 million people will travel somewhere by car, according to AAA. Experts say drivers looking to beat the traffic should hit the roads early. The worst time today, between 2 and 6 p.m. Today, also the busiest day for picking up a rental car, according to Hertz. Demand highest in Orlando, Boston, Denver, Los Angeles, and New York. Car rentals also 10% more expensive than last year.
Driving is still cheaper than flying for most people. Filling up the tank once or twice during their road trip is probably going to be less expensive than buying a flight somewhere.
And with so many Americans feeling that economic pinch right now, Expedia saying searches using their budget filter have skyrocketed, up more than 1,200% over last year. Olivia Rubin, ABC News, Washington.
Now, for your Storm Alert Team forecast with meteorologist Houston Hall.
Well, out there this morning, we have about like 3 boundaries out there. We got a low pressure system up here. Notice a little bit of shower, thunderstorm activity just north of Omaha. Once more, you usually get that on the northern edge of the lows. But we are watching this little boundary right here. Could see some isolated showers and thunderstorms develop on the east side of it as this little system moves towards the east. But not much happening right now. Look at all the sunshine out towards the west. Big H is currently out there. We should see some sunshine later this evening, but a few little showers and thunderstorms will be possible as we go into about the next hour or two. We do have that severe weather as we go into this evening. It's going to be mainly from parts about Kippahaw County down towards the south and east, just north of Omaha. This is really going to be damaging wind driven. Notice Lincoln and Beatrice and the marginal risk as we could see a little storm out there move towards the east and have some gusty winds. For the next few hours, we will start to see maybe a little isolated thunderstorm here, mainly east and southeast of Lincoln, but I say we could have a little bit of a chance for some light rain. We have seen some already, and the cloud cover should thin, sunshine for this evening. All right, now there's that one storm which is going to try to eject from the southwest, but notice kind of loses its strength. So it's going to be bringing some gusty winds just ahead of that near the Tri-Cities. There's where your peak severe weather is going to be dropping in from the Dakotas about 9 to 11 p.m. tonight. All of that is going to be some hail and some winds in Kippahaw County near O'Neill. That's going to drift down towards the south and east. Notice the track all the way from Valentine. Just like this, it droops down. A little bit of damaging winds just ahead of these storms in far northeast Nebraska overnight. Once again, midnight to 2 a.m. We could be seeing some gusts to near 75 miles per hour. As that moves towards the east, there you go. That's going to be why Omaha is in that level 2 slight risk. A little bit of a wind could make its way off towards the east, and that's going to be about 3 to 4 a.m. Got to watch out here, though. This could be another system going into early Friday morning. Now, I highly doubt this is going to happen. It's probably going to be a little weaker in coverage, but still some showers and thunderstorms in the middle of the state tomorrow morning. And that's going to be playing a big factor on what happens as we go into the evening time, where that's going to be our peak severe weather going into the nighttime Friday. All right, so notice it moves towards the east. There's lunchtime Friday. Could see an isolated thunderstorm, maybe on the severe side near Lincoln and Omaha, northeast Nebraska. That's going to try to set the stage for our severe weather event. There's going to be a boundary right here, as you can see, just a sharp line. That could be where the strongest storms will form as we go into Friday afternoon, Friday evening. All of these little cells you see here, large hail, damaging winds. The damaging winds will be the main factor with these storms Friday night. We could be seeing some gusts up to near 85, maybe even 90 miles per hour, as some models want to put a bow echo. But you can see 6 to 8 p.m. I would say we start to see convection in southeast Nebraska. That will stay here all the way through about Friday morning, 3 a.m. Notice these big cells, hail, heavy rainfall, lightning, thunder. Then there is a brief tornado threat, mainly into far northeast Nebraska. But you see all of this stuff right here. We could be seeing maybe embedded brief spin up within all of that activity. There's about 3 to 5 a.m. should be on out of here. I'll most likely be here Saturday morning if it does happen to go that long. And then we look okay for Saturday. All right, there's what I have for Friday. There's a slight, there's a marginal. They're going to update this later this afternoon here in the next hour. There's the tornado chance in northeast Nebraska. Large hail up to tennis ball size hail. Damaging winds up to 65, even 75 miles per hour. All right, there's Stormcast, Barry Law Cam. It's set 82 degrees, 86 it feels like, and we got that one little shower and thunderstorm just moving into Iowa. Meanwhile, just waiting for this cloud cover to move out of here. 70s, 80s with the dew points, 82 for a temperature, 84. Dew points, 70s. And the winds, no gust out there, which is good. No dying shower. All right, here in the next hour or two, we'll start to see those precipitation chances pick on up. Temperatures, upper 80s, not bad. The winds will be a little light. And as we go into Friday, late storms. Saturday, storm chances south of I-80. So if you've got any July 4th plans, you look to be okay on that side of things. Next week, upper 80s, lower 90s.
All right, sounds good. Thank you very much, Houston. Coming up after the break, ethics in question. Why a new disclosure on President Trump's finances is stirring controversy. Now he's defending his financial decisions.
If you're at home right now and you're suffering from burning, tingling,
Revelations. Overnight, President Trump taking the first flight in his new Air Force One, an expensive gift from Qatar. This in a new disclosure that he made more than $2 billion his first year in office, raising ethical questions. ABC's Karen Hua reports.
President Trump showing off all the bells and whistles before America celebrates its 250th birthday.
So this will be the first flight of what I think is maybe the greatest commercial plane ever built.
Flying in the new Air Force One, a $400 million gift from Qatar. The plane was retrofitted using hundreds of millions of American taxpayer money. Photos from White House staffers show spacious rooms and luxurious fixtures. ABC's Mary Bruce asked Mr. Trump about the flashy display.
What message does this send to average Americans, especially those who may be struggling right now financially?
I don't get involved in my personal. We have funds that run my money.
And in a highly unusual arrangement, even after he leaves office, the plane goes with him. Ownership transferred to his presidential library. This after financial disclosures revealed President Trump made more than $2.2 billion in his first year back in office, 3 times more than he made the year before. Most of the money came from the Trump family cryptocurrency business, with a major investment from a firm closely tied to the United Arab Emirates. The White House defending the president.
And let's remember, Bill, why Americans elected this president to office, because he was an outsider who was tremendously successful in business.
Democrats quick to criticize Trump's windfall.
For me, the greatest scandal is not that Donald Trump is avoiding the appearance of corruption. The greatest scandal is that he's not even trying.
But some political watchers say the president's supporters don't seem to mind.
Many of his supporters say, I don't care. You know, he's enriched me in many ways. Both the stock market is good. I'm doing fine. And so it doesn't bother some of his supporters. And I think Trump knows that.
Now, unlike past presidents, Trump has not put his business into a blind trust. Instead, it's being run by his sons, Don Jr. and Eric. Karen Hua, ABC News, Washington.
Still had this midday. Climbers in court. A judge's decision this morning after an extraordinary Illinois extraordinarily couple.
ABC's seamless steel gutters are larger and stronger than traditional gutters, carrying away 33% more water from your home and handling even the heaviest rains. Stay dry, look great with ABC seamless gutters. Learn more.
Alaska's trusted news source. This is Channel 8 News Midday.
Welcome back, everyone. If you're just joining us, we are keeping an eye on severe weather potential in our area.
Pretty humid out here.
And this morning, some light winds blowing around the city, helping keep it a little cooler outside despite the high temps. Citizen journalist Melanie in this video shared on our Now Local News app telling us the breeze making the morning more bearable. And from what we're learning, those mild winds could soon turn into storms. Now, a live look outside at our Honda Lincoln camera. It's cloudy out there, warm and muggy outside. We could get some storms here in just a couple of hours. Let's get to meteorologist Houston Hall. He's got an updated forecast here for us. Good morning, Houston.
Good morning. Yes, looks like we could get maybe one isolated storm, and if anything, if we do get a storm, if it does become severe with the energy that we are starting to get, it'll just be due to some peace-high hail and some gusty winds. Beatrice right now, they're trying to see a little bit of sunshine out there, but it's not having a good time with that. But that is where some sunshine is starting to show up. Off towards the west, you can see there's plenty of that. But the thunderstorm activity is currently just north of Omaha. We take a wider view. We got a little bit of a boundary, which is continuing to make its way towards the east, and that does come with a little bit of instability, and that's going to make a sharp line in southeast Nebraska. I would say here near 2 to 3 p.m. A few isolated storms will be possible from about Lincoln, Beatrice, down towards the east. Temperature-wise, upper 70s, low to mid 80s. We are the warm spot. Notice the dew points. There's another sharp line in 50s, 60s, and then 70s. I mean, it's tropical out there almost. Winds pretty light by 15 miles per hour. That's very nice. Precipitation chances, there you go, about 2:30 to about 4 p.m. is going to be our best chance here in Lincoln. And then they die down. We do have a damaging wind threat. They might have just updated that model, so I'll have to go check that out. There's that rain chance here in the next few hours. There's 3, 4, and then a damaging wind threat once again. I'll walk you through the whole forecast, man weather.
Talk to you then. Thank you very much, Houston. New developments now on a jaw-dropping moment caught on camera in New York City. The couple released from jail after appearing in court this morning. They were given supervised release after spending the night in separate holding cells. The pair are charged with reckless endangerment, burglary, and other charges. They did not enter a plea. The epic stunt raising serious security questions in the city. We're learning more about how the Russian couple pulled it off. Here's ABC's Hannah Batah. We'll get to that story in just a second. Developing now, the firefight growing in northwest Nebraska. Brand new photos overnight of the flames. The South Central Wildland Task Force sharing these images of the log road fire. They say they are making bonfires in order to burn up any excess fuel from this wildfire. It has now burned more than 1,500 acres, according to Watch Duty, and is 0% contained. Governor Jim Pillen's emergency declaration is in place. Helicopters were seen earlier in the day from the Nebraska National Guard, dropping thousands of gallons of water onto the fire. More help is now on the way to northwest Nebraska. Crews leaving Fairbury early Wednesday for an 8-hour drive. They'll now spend the next night here working an overnight shift to help contain the growing wildfire. And as crews battle the log road fire, the Nebraska Farm Bureau says support is pouring in for ranchers. The Nebraska Farm Bureau Disaster Relief Fund has now distributed aid to producers impacted. It's helping families replace feed, rebuild fences, and restore grazing land. The organization says it's raised more than $500,000.
If I could, say thank you to anybody of them truckers, and they're using their own equipment and they're using their own fuel, and I hope people in their communities will let them know how much we appreciate them truckers and then all the people that have donated the hay.
The Farm Bureau says donations are making a huge difference as ranch families begin the long process of recovering from this year's devastating wildfires. Honoring 250 years right here in the capital city. Governor Pillen unveiling a special display at the state capitol to celebrate America's 250th anniversary. A life-size reproduction of the Declaration of Independence will be featured in the rotunda through the end of the month. And a handmade 250-star quilt created by members of the Lincoln Quilters Guild meant to honor veterans. Tens of thousands of people will be in Seward this weekend. Nebraska's official 4th of July sitting. Channel 8's Daniel De Silva visiting a popular stop there to get a sneak peek at how they're pulling out all the stops this year.
As America marks 250 years of independence, the entire community of Seward is coming together to celebrate. At the Nebraska National Guard Museum, military history is exuding with pride from the moment you step inside.
This will probably be one of our biggest exhibits. We've had Seward is the tip of the spear for Nebraska. We were chosen to be that.
Jerry Meyer is the museum's director and says no expense was spared to create the display for the USA 250 exhibit. Costing about $100,000 in total, the mannequins are worth nearly $30K each.
We pulled out all stops. It's the soul of the Nebraska National Guard. This is where you go to see our history and to feel our history in this building. Showcases a lot of our service members from the time of the Revolution, which we weren't a state yet. We have people in our community that are tied to the Revolutionary soldier.
And the impact of John Cattle of Cattle Bank and Trust, a hero of World War II.
We've had a lot of great supporters that have put their efforts into this one, and it's turned out really well. We're very pleased with where it's at. Just the bow wave of patriotism that you see all around the country, gearing up for this week, and being part of a military museum during this time, we get to showcase some really, really interesting people.
Such as President Colonel Theodore Roosevelt himself, wearing a traditional fit from 1898, played by Robert Mergel, a senior lecturer at Ohio State University. He is one of 4 actors portraying the faces of Mount Rushmore.
Just pieces of stone on an edifice in South Dakota. I hope that what we do here this weekend here at Nebraska basically puts the real person behind those faces.
Mergel even giving me a quick history lesson while maintaining character, of course.
In 1900, I was a presidential candidate with William McKinley. I visited 40 cities in Nebraska because Nebraska was a pretty key state that we had to win. And we won Nebraska. Then in 1904, when I was presidential candidate running for office, 61% of the Nebraskans voted for me.
Danielle De Silva for Channel 8 News.
Thank you very much, Danielle. Here in Lincoln, the Quilt Museum is kicking off their newest exhibit, exploring America's history through quilts today. It's called Material Nation, 250 Years of American Quilts. Those in collection are in view for the first time right now. The museum will be closed, though, tomorrow through Monday. And the celebration does not stop there. ABC marks America's 250th birthday with a star-studded special from Nashville. It starts at 9 o'clock Friday and goes through 4th of July. Ryan Seacrest hosts with performances from Reba McEntire, Tim McGraw, Boyz II Men, and more, followed by one of the country's largest fireworks and drone shows right here on Channel 8. New developments, a jaw-dropping moment caught on camera in New York City. The couple released from jail after appearing in court this morning. They were given supervised release after spending the night in separate holding cells. The pair charged with reckless endangerment, burglary, and other charges, and they did not enter a plea. The epic stunts raising security questions in the city. We're now learning more about how the Russian couple pulled it all off. Here's ABC's Hannah Battah.
This morning, new details emerging about the proposal at 1,400 feet that captivated the country.
2 geniuses climbed to the top of the Empire State Building, the top of the spire.
The daredevils, now identified as Angela Nikolaou and Ivan Kunetsov. The Russian couple seen here being transferred from a New York police station last night after their arrest. Without any type of safety equipment, they climbed to the top of the spire and unfurled a banner that read, "When the power of love beats the love of power, the world knows peace." Then they descended to a lower platform where Kunetsov dropped to his knee and proposed.
And now they're kissing. So to share this with you, as bizarre a New York City moment as I've ever seen.
The couple posting photos of the engagement ring with a one-of-a-kind background. They're already famous for their romantic photo shoots atop skyscrapers. But now, important questions are being raised. How did they pull off this stunning security breach at a time when law enforcement in New York is on heightened alert for the July 4th holiday? The couple somehow gained access to a door leading up to the spire, which is typically locked.
They didn't just stumble upon that hatch. There was what we would call pre-observational surveillance. Someone cased the joint, if you will, to find those accesses.
Police rushing in, closing streets, and ordering the observation deck evacuated. While back on the spire, specially trained officers with helmets and harnesses met the couple on their descent, bringing the incident to a close.
You can't be up here.
Yeah, I'm okay. Hannah Battah, ABC News, New York.
Still ahead, incredible rescues underway in Venezuela following deadly earthquakes, what first responders are up against this morning. ICE, the agency arresting a nun as she was walking to attend a mass in Texas. She has since been released from custody. ABC's Jay O'Brien reports.
Growing questions now about why Sister Leticia Ubwaja, a Texas nun and Nigerian national, was arrested and detained by immigration enforcement while walking to Mass. It happened last Sunday in McAllen, Texas. Bishop Daniel E. Flores of the Diocese of Brownsville calling her a source of goodness and hope in their community. Just a few hours after her arrest, DHS later releasing Sister Ubwaja, who's been in the U.S. for at least 10 years, but her immigration status is unclear. The department has not responded to our multiple requests for comment and information about her arrest. Ubwaja's detention was even condemned by a Republican lawmaker, Congresswoman Monica De La Cruz, writing, quote, "Our immigration enforcement should target violent criminals. A Catholic nun on her way to church is not a threat to our community." The administration has repeatedly pledged to go after the worst of the worst in President Trump's immigration crackdown, but this is just the latest in a series of immigration arrests that have spurred backlash, including ICE detaining spouses of active duty service members. Back to you.
Still ahead, the evolution of civil rights, where you can see our nation's full history, how experts are remembering our country's past. Its museums, and the Smithsonian Institution is one of the largest in the world with more than 150 million objects. Is nicknamed America's Attic, and as the country approaches a major milestone, ABC's Olivia Rubin takes us inside the institution, helping preserve the nation's memory.
As America approaches its 250th birthday, Lonnie Bunch is asking the country to remember the full story, the promise, the pain, and the people who fought to make freedom real. As the secretary of the Smithsonian, Bunch calls himself and his team keepers of the nation's memory. And for Bunch, that memory must include the history of African Americans and the fight for civil rights.
I think we have made amazing gains as a nation, that the promise of America is something that's always just out of reach. We continue to work to try to achieve it.
Ahead of America's anniversary, we met Bunch inside the museum he helped build from the ground up.
This museum is a symbol of the best of America, a symbol that says we can have the courage to deal with the dark moments of our past.
Created by an act of Congress in 2003, it's the only national museum dedicated entirely to the documentation of African American life, history, and culture. That long and painful history meticulously documented here, from slavery to emancipation to the civil rights movement. Here, a massive train car from the Jim Crow era, a visceral reminder of the horror of segregation.
African Americans were always in the back. And I wanted people to understand both how strong this was for the country, how important it was, but also how challenging it was.
When asked which single artifact could represent both the progress and the pain, Bunch pointing to something much smaller. These papers, once the prized possession of a man named Joseph Trammell, enslaved in Virginia but gaining his freedom in 1852. These documents, known as Freedom Papers, is proof.
He recognized that that paper was the key, not just to his life, but his family's future.
For Trammell, freedom was not just an idea. It was something he had to carry, protect, and defend.
Every night, he would come home, take the paper out, and talk to his family about the fragility of freedom, the importance of freedom.
Now, this museum carrying that forward. It all lives here, the 250-year journey of African Americans, preserved so the nation and the world can remember it, honor it, and learn from it.
What I really hope is that 250 years from now, somebody will be walking through and they'll smile because they'll say, I didn't know, and now I do.
Olivia Rubin, ABC News, Washington.
Before we go to break, here's a live look outside at our Barry Law Tower camera. We're going to have a final check of the forecast next.
Bringing you the most comprehensive local coverage dedicated to serving our community and bringing Lincoln nothing but the best. When you need local trustworthy news, the answer is simple. KLKN, bringing you Nebraska now.
From Naples to Nebraska, a family's passion crossed an ocean and landed right here in Lincoln. For 48 years, the Condutson family has crafted authentic Italian classics. Pizzas bubbling with cheese, sauces simmered low and slow, pasta that hugs every forkful. Throughout generations, tradition and community have fed neighbors and friends alike. Bring your appetite, gather at the table, experience the flavor. Da Vinci's, from Naples to Nebraska.
Stay cool this 4th of July weekend with an 11% rebate at Menards. Check out our excellent selection of Midday air conditioners. They're designed for strong cooling and energy efficiency to keep your home comfortable. Get this U-shape air conditioner for a value of $389.79 after rebate. You'll find a great selection, the best prices, and top brands ready to take home today. Save over $475 on this Maytag 5-cycle dishwasher after sale price and 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
Plush carpet, luxury vinyl, hardwood, laminate, and sheet vinyl flooring. Carpets Direct is the ultimate flooring destination. Call or visit today, South 48th Street, Lincoln.
Chevy drivers across America will do a lot in the next 5 years. But one thing they won't do is pay interest on their new Chevy. Just announced, get 0% financing for 5 years on all 2026 Silverado 1500, Equinox, and Trax models, with no payments until after Labor Day. Because you've earned this summer. Now it's time to go get it.
Visit your Greater Nebraska Chevy dealers today.
Houston, you're going to be a popular man here the next 24 hours or so, I think.
Gosh, I mean, either in a good way or a bad way. I mean, I'm looking at every aspect to this severe weather chances, and it is getting to my brain. I got to go take a nap. Here in the next hour or two, we should start to see a few pop-up showers, maybe a rumble of thunder in southeast Nebraska. That's where those bars start to peak. There's a look at that. That's about 2 to 4 p.m. That's going to be our best chance. We'll have some storms develop in southwest Nebraska as we go into this evening. The stronger storms are going to be from Valentine and then swoop down just north of Columbus, Lincoln, Omaha. We might have some gusty winds early in the morning time. I'll be here early, that's for sure, as we could have some early morning convection before the main severe weather threat will look to come on in Friday night. If you have any plans, make sure to stay up to date with the radar and the latest forecast, as I'll definitely have you up to date all through tomorrow, and then we look to cool down and, well, not cool down, but quiet down next week.
Well, cool down would be nice too, but We're not gonna get
I'm
that
all right
in
with
July.
that. I mean, geez, I need a break.
Yes, tune in tomorrow morning. He'll have the latest for your Uncle Sam Jam forecast as well. Thank you very much, Houston. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. GMA 3 is next.
Come see us at our new South Point location. Locally owned, comfort-made mattress factory. Handcrafted, built right here and backed with a lifetime comfort guarantee.
Let your voice be heard by sharing your photos and videos to the Now Local News app. Earn points and redeem them for gift cards. Scan the QR code to join.
They call you an overachiever.
What's the matter with you?
Too competitive.
Don't you like
A perfectionist.
the things I do?
We call that good company. Take the lead in the uncompromising BMW X1, X3, and X5.
Shop online at bmwoflincoln.com.
Wild Bird Habitat brings the joy of birding right to your backyard. With expert advice, a huge selection of bird feeders, birding supplies, plus premium-grade wild bird feeds, your feathered friends will flock to your yard. Visit Wild Bird Habitat today.
The Home Depot is your home for appliances. Get the fridge you need, the range you want, or the washer you have to have. With 12-month financing, see homedepot.com/credit for credit options.
Stay ahead of the storm with Rusty Dawkins at 4:30, 5, 6, and 10.
It's time for GMA 3. New details on the couple who climbed to the top of the Empire State Building, clinging to the spire for 45 minutes.
We can't be up here.
What we're learning about how they got up there. Gosling family feud erupts.
There's the truth, and then there's the truth from Kate Goslin's point of view.
Kate Goslin's estranged son Colin now suggesting she take a lie detector test to defend herself ahead of his tell-all memoir about the drama inside one of reality TV's most famous families. Taylor Swift's milestone music anniversary. How Swifties are celebrating, and it's just the start of a month of special moments for Taylor. It's time for GMA 3.
Hello, I'm Dr. Tara Narula.
And I am Rebecca Jarvis here with Morgan Norwood. We are so glad you can join us on this Thursday. We're calling this The Clash.
Yes.
we love spring, we love summer, we love patterns.
And they're all represented.
Here we are.
So good to be with you guys. Almost the entire eastern half of the country, guys, is on alert for dangerous heat. We felt it right here in New York.
Yes.
And Dr. Narula, of course, we know that we'll be talking with you about the risk from the extreme heat, including how to deal with heat illness, how to spot those signs, and also the best ways to cool down.
Absolutely. And we've spent the last year visiting all 50 states. Now Travel and Leisure is getting in on the fun with their list of the hottest spots around the country. Hot, maybe not sounding exactly great at this moment, but they are some wonderful places to visit. And we begin with that couple who scaled the Empire State Building in the middle of the day right here in New York City. They're facing charges as we learn more about how they pulled off the stunt. And our chief investigative correspondent, Aaron Katursky, is here with the details. Aaron, this has captured so much attention.
Well, and it was an incredible stunt. Death-defying, dizzying, vertigo-inducing.
In the extreme heat.
Yes. High above Gotham. And now these two are below ground in dingy holding cells in court to be arraigned on multiple charges.
These two audacious climbers are in police custody after a spectacle at the tip of the Empire State Building.
Two geniuses climbed to the top of the Empire State Building, the top of the spire.
As news helicopters circled, the man and woman scaled the needle nearly 1,500 feet in the air with no tethers, no net, dressed in black with masks, as millions watched live on TV and online.
I am just a little bit queasy looking at two people that have climbed to the very top of the antenna.
Building emptied the observation deck, tourists left bewildered. Then the couple made their intentions known.
I'm not sure what I'm seeing, but it almost looks like he's proposing to this woman. Another kissing.
Angelina Nicolaou and Ivan Kuznetsov posting the whole thing online. Their vertigo-inducing view from a very small platform and these images of the proposal, the ring, their fingers intertwined. Body camera footage from the NYPD shows what happened next.
Hello? How you doing? Can you just stay where you are?
specially trained officers, including one who just graduated this week from the emergency service school, intercepted the couple on their descent.
You can't be up here.
And took them into custody.
Yeah, I'm okay.
An eyewitness said she saw the couple sneak through a maintenance hatch on the 102nd floor.
I didn't see if it was locked, but I just seen them open the door and them hurry up.
This couple has done this before, documenting their exploits from around the world online and in Skywalkers, a love story on Netflix.
Love is like heights. The fear never goes away. You just get better at facing it.
The daredevils are now facing a slew of charges. Seen here leaving a New York City police precinct after their arrest. A spokesperson for the Empire State Building said in part there was at no time danger to tenants, visitors, and observation deck guests. Angelina Nicola says she grew up in Moscow, the daughter of circus performers. She and her fiancé are now facing burglary, trespassing, reckless endangerment, a whole host of charges.
It is serious, but it was also fascinating to see you covering this live.
Yes, we watched it.
Did you have a sense for what was happening as it was unfolding?
No, who does that?
Well, yeah, like one thing after the other.
Is that how Matt proposed?
No, thank goodness. We're both kind of scared of heights, so
she
no.
said she wanted a proposal with a view, and she technically got one.
She had the entire city, and
she got the ring and handcuffs.
and now
extra rings.
Their first day of engagement.
There you
Separate
go.
holding
It's a story.
cells.
Thank you, Aaron. We turn now to the latest check on our economy.